If you're great with cleaning tools, or just love cleaning in general, and you're very attentive to detail, becoming a mobile detailer may be your ideal business. Today, Isaiah is sharing his advice with you on what you can do to start a successful mobile detailing business. We're going to talk about things like the skills you need, training, experience, the budget you need to get started. Also, where do I find clients, and what do you do to make sure they hire you?
Anything over, $3 grand, $3,500 is nice. A really good day.
3 tools, must-haves. Do you have that? You could detail cars. What would they be?
Bar none. That's definitely the biggest expense. This is a little secret.
Maybe let's highlight maybe 2-3 different products that I think is important for our viewers to know.
This is the man who knows about all those products. It makes the job way easier, and it increases the quality of the work tremendously.
How do we stand out from other 10 vendors that are competing for your business and clientele?
I'm over in Los Angeles.
And the business is happening where?
This is in Seattle.
There you go.
I wasn't joking when we're saying we're spending 6 or 7 hours on each car.
Wow. So before we meet Isaiah, like this video, subscribe to our channel, hit that bell icon so that you don't miss any of our videos, and let's go talk to the man of the day. Let's dive into it. What does it take to start a mobile detailing business?
Yeah.
What were your steps that you took to get going?
Yeah.
Let's start there.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, for any business, it's going to take, number one thing was hard work. For me, the first year that I started it, it was 12-hour days.
Wow.
I remember my diet was McDonald's. I was on a shoestring budget, and so I'd get 3 sausage McMuffins in the morning, and I'd make them last throughout the day. And I'd get one of those big dollar coffees. So it was definitely a little gritty. It's a blue collar job at the end of the day.
So what were like the first steps? To break it down for us, maybe make it simple. 5, 6, 7 steps you took to get going and wash your first car.
For sure. First thing was I had to learn how to do it. So I worked at a shop before.
Okay.
I worked at a big shop up in Mukilteo, Washington, and that's where I learned. I also grew up, my dad was really into auto detailing, so I knew kind of the ins and outs. After that, I needed to learn how to get the right equipment, get all the right chemicals, and just kind of get my process down. Right. If I want to detail a car, what does it look like from A to Z, and figure out what that looks like in my head, get practice, get reps in. And then from there, of course, you need customers. So you have to stir up demand somehow. Okay. So learning how to market, you don't have
get
to
some cars dirty.
Yeah, I'd go around and I'd find dirty cars and leave businesses. No, I'm joking. I didn't do that. But it was really guerrilla marketing. It was printing out flyers. I learned how to build my own website. I didn't program it myself, but I used one of those. I think I used Wix at the start. Then I moved over to GoDaddy. So the skills, the supplies, figuring out what your package, what your service is going to look like, and stirring up demand, getting customers.
Somebody looking to start from scratch, what would be their budget from you, the expert?
Yeah.
I mean, $500 enough to get going? 1,000? What would the number be?
If I was to go back and look at it, I'd like to start with 1,000.
Okay, that's possible.
If it's you could get it started with 1,000. Get the shoestring equipment. Get a website up for $200 on Squarespace, and you can, what else do you need? You need your license, so get your DOR license, your Secretary of State license, all that stuff.
Yep.
That's really the bare bones. Once you start getting bigger, you might want a CRM software, different stuff like that, but really you just need your website.
Okay.
Print out some business cards, and you're good to go.
Good to go. As far as actual tools, Isaiah, if you were to say 3 tools, must-haves, if you have that, you could detail cars, what would they be?
Yeah. 3 is tough.
3, 4, 5. Yeah, give us the must-haves.
We gotta go. So, in all honesty, you don't have to have a pressure washer. Okay. You might think you do.
You get away with it.
When I very first started, it was very, very low budget. I was a high school kid, saved up $500. That's all I had. So I did it with just one of those nozzles on the hose.
Oh yeah, okay.
That it's called a water saver, but you can twist it and it pressurizes the water. So get that so you have some type of pressure.
That's like what, $15?
Yeah, 15, $20.
Okay.
Then you got your soap, you got your your clay bar, your wax, all your microfibers, your pads, your tire dressing, your APC, leather and plastic cleaner, leather and plastic conditioner. So all the right chemicals.
Okay.
When I started off, My first package was 35 bucks.
There you go.
And I started off just undercutting everything in the market. And it wasn't the fanciest stuff, but it was
Getting started.
you know what? Yeah, it was better than minimum wage at the time, and so that was what I was doing.
That's crazy. Straight out of high school.
Straight out of high school, yeah. So if you want to start, but if you have the money to start with better stuff, to get back to your question about the key stuff, a pressure washer,
Yep.
is very helpful. An extractor, very helpful. A steam cleaner, very helpful. I didn't have these things when I started it, but now, our guys, we equip them with all that stuff because it makes the job way easier and it increases the quality of the work tremendously.
What's a good day, bad day for you dollar-wise? I mean, you're a year 7 into this business.
Yep.
What does that look like? I mean, celebrate kind of day, or man, we just covered our cost day.
Yeah. I think anything over, $3,000, $3,500 is a really good day.
Okay.
I would say, anything under $1,000 is not so great. It's under $500. It's like, all right, that was a sleeper day. Maybe no one was working that day because we try to be flexible with our employee schedules. So, if everyone's taking a certain day off or maybe it's a holiday, we're not going to really do much in revenue. But, I would say anything over that $3,000 is a really good day.
Nice.
And also weekends are likely going to be slower because not as many people want to work.
Gotcha.
So that's also something. So weekdays,
you get all that squeezed
better.
in weekdays. Okay,
Exactly.
That's nice. You got one job with 3 cars.
Exactly. I mean, these are great opportunities, and it's great to have customers that have more cars like this, and you can knock them all out. It makes things more efficient cost-wise, and you can cut the customer a little deal as well.
Nice. Year 7 in your business. What does it cost you to operate it today per month? And what's the biggest expense for you?
Yeah. So I'll start at the end of that. The biggest expense, labor, bar none. That's definitely the biggest expense.
Okay.
We have a great
Always.
team of managers at this point. So, when we started, not a lot of overhead. That was our whole business model, very low overhead. But now we're scaling up, and we've got a good amount more management support, software support, things like that, a lot higher quality equipment. And so our overhead now is 20, 30 grand a month in overhead.
Okay.
Most of that being labor.
And we'll dive deeper into how you're operating this business, because you're doing this remotely, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
And that's the interesting, guys. So stick around and watch how that operates and how that's possible for you to be where.
I'm over in Los Angeles.
And the business is happening
this
where?
is in Seattle.
There you
go. Across states. And we've been, I've been running it remotely for really 6 years, except for year 1. But the other 6 years were all remote.
All right, you guys, we just came here to Isaiah's business storage, and we're going to show you what he's got in there.
This is where it all goes down.
You don't need much of a storage space, do you?
No, so we're able to fit probably about up to 10 to 15 people in here.
Okay.
That's what we're kind of mapping out at this point.
So what tools are working the best for you right now? Which social media platforms, or what other tools you can share with us that our viewers can implement today? If they've done the foot traffic, the face-to-face, now they're like, okay, what's next?
Yep. So diving into really it's the tech giants. I hate to say it, but the Yelps, the Facebooks, the Google ads. I would say Yelp is our best right now.
Okay.
I think Facebook and Google ads are a little bit more flexible.
Why is Yelp doing better for you?
Because I think the people that come to Yelp, it's a little bit more directed it's a little bit more targeted of an audience. Yelp is a little bit, just easier to throw some money at it, and it's going to convert some leads. Facebook and Google, you have to be a little bit more strategic and a little bit more technical to really get the same amount of leads and sales coming through there. So it's something that we're working on. I think in the long run, we want to be more Facebook and Google, but it takes a lot more management, a lot more effort to make sure those are still converting, whereas Yelp, you can just set a budget and let it go.
Isaiah, what service packages do you offer, and what has the lowest and highest profit margin, and why?
Yeah. So the way we've structured things is really trying to make things simplified so that they can be, standard qualities of service. So we only have 3 packages.
That's it.
Interior, exterior, the whole thing.
Okay.
That's it. And so, when we do the whole vehicle, that's going to have the highest profit margins.
What is it about?
And so right now, the way we have things set up, we're pushing growth. So we're reinvesting everything into more marketing, more employees, more support, better software, better equipment. So our profit margins are slim to none at the moment.
Yeah, that makes sense.
If we were to take a step back, we're talking 20 to 30% profit margins
on the bigger package.
Yeah, on those bigger packages.
Okay.
And so, but then I would say our interior is probably our slimmest margins.
Okay.
And that's close to that 20% range. And then when you do the whole car, that's close to the 30%. And that's talking, labor, taking out everything for all the equipment.
So you make the least when you just wash the exterior and you're done.
I would say, yeah,
right?
yeah. Just, and that's why we charge, honestly, a decent amount, because to just get our guys out here,
right,
it has to be worth it to get our people to different locations. We don't want to come out and just do something really small.
Okay.
It's pretty difficult for us to do that.
What's your revenue year to date at this point? I know I forgot to ask that question, but let's touch on it real quick. Because you said the overhead was like 30, right, to carry through.
Year to date, and this is going to be super ballpark. I would have to guess. We're probably looking at 200-ish.
200K. Okay.
Because it's June right now, so we're probably roughly around there.
Okay.
Yeah, middle of June, going into July. So
nice.
We're probably around 200. Trying to push to be close to 400 or 500 by the end of the year, and then push into that 700 to $1 million next year is our kind of our stretch goal.
Nice.
So
that's a good goal to go for.
Yeah, that'll be what we're pushing for.
All right, you guys, we are driving around for you today, showing you the full scoop of how a mobile detailing business works, where it is suppliers are, which is where we're at. This is a local distribution center where Isaiah has been buying from them, I think, for 6 years now. Isaiah, tell us where we're at.
Alrighty, yeah, we are here at Westmart Products. They are our local distributor for a lot of our auto detailing chemicals, different types of brushes, different types of tools that we use, and so we've been going here for a while. So we've been here. They're our first supplier. So since day one, this is kind of what got us off the ground, honestly. So 7 years now, and they're the first people I talked to, and without them, there probably wouldn't be Biggs Mobile, because I might have thrown in the towel. But they had everything here, and they know about their products. So as a young kid, I was able to say, here's what I want to do, and they were personable enough to say, let's walk you through what you need and get you set up.
Let's talk about, unsatisfied or maybe somewhat difficult clients who do everything you can, they're still not happy.
Yep.
Did you have that experience? If you can, share with us, how did you handle the situation, and give our audience a piece of advice. How do we provide the best customer service that we can?
Yeah. So we've never had an unhappy customer. I'm joking. I'm joking with you.
That's a great record.
We've had thousands of customers, and of course there's going to be some that are upset. They might have different expectations and whatnot. So our motto is just to do the right thing.
Okay.
Stealing that from Spike Lee, and
Spike Lee.
Sorry, Spike, but it's really just kind of the way that we do things. If the customer's not happy, we have a policy that we go back out and fix it.
Okay.
Or we give a very generous refund.
Have you done that? So you've taken the loss just to.
Oh yeah, we've done that.
Do the right thing.
That's doing the right thing. I mean, if they're paying good money for us and they're not happy with what the outcome was or a certain aspect of the service, we'll say, hey, you know what? We're going to get someone back out there to do it and fix what the missed spot was or whatever.
Nice.
So that's really just how we go about it. Very cut and dry.
All right, Isaiah, so if I'm getting into the business, I find a local distributor just like you did.
Yeah.
We're standing right in front of this massive warehouse.
Yeah.
Why don't you walk us in and maybe let's meet the sales manager. Maybe let's highlight 2-3 different products that I think is important for our viewers to know.
Okay. Yeah, for sure.
We'll follow you.
Yeah, no, follow me in here. I would say, some of the core ones, you're going to want your soap, you're going to want your wax, you're going to want your tire dressing. So maybe we could talk about those. This is the man who knows about
Steve.
all those
How you doing,
products.
sir?
Good.
This is Steve. He's been helping me out for years. Great to see you. And he's, he knows about everything. So I'll kick it over to him.
Yeah, Steve, show us the 3. We'll just follow you.
You got it.
All right.
So we are the Washington Carbide distributor, but we also have a sister company who manufactures chemicals as well, which is the Westmar Product Chemicals. You know, one of the products that Isaiah was talking about was wash and wax.
This stuff right here?
Yeah, so one of the things with wash and wax is a really good soap that does its job cleaning, but also leaves, you know, a wax behind that helps you have water beading and protect you from the elements of acid rain and fallout and things like that.
Okay.
Phenomenal product.
Cost-wise, so we got 3 vehicles behind us. That's one client.
Yep.
Curious, what's the cost? Assuming I'm the client, for example, right?
Yeah.
All the cars vary, or are they almost the same? We've got the Mercedes, the Range Rover, and then the Porsche.
Yeah. So for these, they're all going to be about the same.
Okay.
We've got a 4-door, a 2-door. So we price them a little bit differently, and then we got our SUV. So we price them a little differently based on size.
Okay.
But other than that, since we have just those standard packages, assuming they're each getting just that standard package, they're all going to be that same baseline cost plus the vehicle size.
What's the baseline cost? Just
so for these, it would be $349 per car.
per car.
Yeah, and then you add on the size. So for the coupe, that would be an extra $20. For the sedan, that's going to be an extra $40, and then the SUV is going to be an extra $60.
Wow, so we're looking at like pushing $400. But
Yeah,
you're doing the full detail, obviously.
And that's the whole thing.
Yeah.
And you know, we really, I wasn't joking when we're saying we're spending 6 or 7 hours on each car.
Right.
So it's a
heard your employees say that too.
very in-depth service here. We're really spending the whole day on the car.
Wow. There's franchises for mobile cleaning, right?
Yep.
And then you've created your own company.
Yep.
Why? What's the advantage in your life and your world? Why did you pursue this versus just approaching some franchise and going with them? Because people are interested in that option as well.
That's a great question. The short answer is, when I started this, I didn't even think about buying a franchise.
Gotcha.
It was more like I had $500. I was in high school. I knew how to do it. Let me just buy the basics and start doing it. If I was older, if I had more money, and maybe I didn't want to build everything myself, maybe I wanted to just pick up a set of processes, pick up a set of equipment and go. Franchises wouldn't be a bad option. But if you're shoestring and you need to save every dollar you can, then you kind of have to start it on your own.
Right.
You can't pay those, $10, $20, $50,000 or whatever that might be as the franchise fee and pay 5 or 10% of your revenue off to a franchisor. That might not be feasible for you
to get started with,
depending on how you're. So I think it just comes down to how you're starting, and what your goals are too.
Well, you guys check out our other franchising videos. We've done a few. We tell you how to join a franchise, start a franchise. So check that out. It's right there as well. And check out our blog, upflip.com/blog, where you have in-depth information on how to start businesses, grow them. Do check that out as well. So,
and to piggyback on that, I will say to the viewers out there, look out for Biggs Mobile to be starting to offer franchises in the future.
Nice.
And so that's
your
something
goal?
That is kind of what we structured our business around, as far as standardizing all our processes, keeping our services very simple and cookie cutter, so that they can be duplicated across the different regions.
And be able to do it remotely, which is
exactly,
pretty cool.
And that too. So franchising opportunities will be coming in the near future for Biggs.
Do you plan to expand into other services within the realm of mobile detailing?
Yeah.
If so, yes, no, what do you think?
So I'll say no. We are focused on doing what we do and doing it really well. So going back to how we structured our packages and how we structured, all these different processes and keeping things very standardized and streamlined, we want to figure out the best way to do one thing, which is mobile auto detailing, and do that better than anyone else does. And once we figure that out, then it's step and repeat.
Okay.
And I kind of got this, I decided to hone in on this from a book called Good to Great, James Collins. So if you guys are any up and coming business owners, check out Good to Great. It was a really good book for me, and it kind of breaks down, they actually do a lot of research. They have a whole research team that looks at companies that sustained really, great growth, whether it's in the stock market or just their company overall P&L performance and whatnot, versus companies that didn't, or maybe companies that did good but not great over a long period of time.
And what's the difference between them two? Okay.
There's a lot of differences, but one of them was they focused on doing what they do really well and perfected that.
All right, Isaiah, let's talk about like the one much needed skill that a mobile detailer could probably not live without. So that's the question. And follow up, what would you wish you'd know now 7 years ago that would help you in terms of skills, you know?
For sure. I mean, this might sound cliche, but attention to detail is huge. Detailing is detailing. People are marginally better than others at it, but it's really your attention to detail, the lack of missed spots, that's going to set you apart from other detailers. So we're all using relatively similar chemicals, relatively similar tools, following similar processes, but it's who does it better is what's going to set you apart. So having that eye, knowing how to move the seat forward to get that certain section under it, and making sure you move it back to get that front section in front of it, that's going to set you apart. Or making sure that you're not getting overspray on the windshield while you're doing the interior leather, so that you don't have those streaks and those spots on the windshield.
Right.
That's going to set you apart.
How do you learn that though? R&D again, or just comes with mentorship, or just in a nutshell, what would you say to that?
When you're the owner of the business, I think it's more intrinsic. So it's your own company. You know your work is your work, and it's however much time. Brand. So when I was out there, I was spending 7 hours on a car, and I was diving into it and really spending a lot of time, because that's how you build your brand and your reputation.
Okay.
As you scale, that's where the difficulty comes in, especially in a mobile setting where you don't have a manager that's overseeing every single car before it goes back to the customer.
Right.
So you have to find how to motivate your employees and how to also have quality control so that they take the same care of it that you take, and they have that same attention to detail. That's really the biggest thing that I've learned over the years.
So tell us about the value of having a storage unit.
Yeah.
You know, what's in it, what people watching right now can take from you and say, you know, that's a good idea, let me do this. Why?
Yeah, definitely. So I would say one of the main things, I mean, besides the fact if you don't have a garage, if you don't have a storage space to keep all your stuff, then you kind of have to put your stuff somewhere.
Your truck's not big enough?
If your truck's not big enough. When I first started my truck, I could fit everything in there. It was all good. But as you get bigger, say you have a sedan or something and you can't do that, you might want a small storage unit.
Okay.
But it really becomes necessary. So that's more of a optional. It becomes necessary when you have employees and you need multiple people to have multiple sets of equipment.
Right.
You need them to have a central place where they can come back, they can pick stuff up, they can go to their next job, and that sort of thing. So that's why you really can't have that running out of your home garage. If you got 10, 15, 20 people coming in on a regular basis, that's not really feasible.
So you basically created a hub.
It's a hub.
This is where they need something, this is where they show up, they go to work.
And until we're big enough to get a full-on warehouse where we've got our own facility, this is a much more affordable way. We're paying $180 for this space, and it can probably get us to 15 or 20 people. Whereas, a warehouse somewhere is going to be thousands of dollars a month. You got to lock in a 12-month contract or a 2-year contract and that sort of thing. So this is nice for that reason.
So Isaiah, what's interesting for us to find out is what's the most difficult, challenging part of being an owner of a mobile detailing business? What's your favorite? What's your least favorite?
Okay.
What can you share with us about that?
Yeah. I mean, I would say I'll start with the challenging. Off the top of my head, quality control for sure is the most challenging.
Gotcha.
A traditional detail shop, you have a general manager, you might have another lead detailer that sees every car before it goes back to the customer. We don't have that luxury. Since we're all spread out across the city. And so that's one of the most challenging things for us. But over the years, we've developed different quality controls, different responsibilities of our managers, and ways of mitigating lapses in quality control and keeping that to a minimum. Things I enjoy, and this might be about any company, but just the people. I love our team. We always bring great people into the team and build a community type of feeling around us. And so the people that we're working with, and also our customers, we end up getting really great bonds with our customers. I'll say when I was out there detailing, they'd bring me out snacks, bring me out water, because we're there for, like I said, 6 hours, 7 hours.
Jeez, half the day.
And they see us working hard, and a lot of them are really kind people that really care about other people. So
Nice.
That's one of my favorite parts is our team and our customers.
As far as experience, skills, I love the idea of detailing. Maybe I want to clean cars like we see behind us, right? Where do I go to learn? Are there certifications? Do we sort of rip off and duplicate by working for someone else? I mean, that's okay in certain industries.
Yeah.
Tell us what you would do with what you know now to really hone in your skills and understand the science behind cleaning cars.
For sure. If I didn't have a background in detailing, I would go to YouTube University. That's exactly where I would go. I would start watching videos. You can look at the Biggs Mobile videos if you want, and we got some videos on there.
Check those out.
To learn how to do that. But really, YouTube has so much information, and detailing is a very it's been around for a long time. So people know how to do it.
Intel.
Yeah, and you can start with the basic stuff like we said earlier, where you could just do the wash and the vacuum and do the basic things, and then as you get more skills, you can get into cutting the paint, and you can get into buffing and clay barring and stuff like that, or you can look up all that stuff online, practice on your car, and you're good to go.
Nice. Okay. What else helped contribute to your success?
Yeah. I would say, going back to some of those other answers as far as processes, people, technology. But on top of that, I think not trying to scale too quick. Okay. So 2017, we actually really pushed scale. I still don't know what I'm doing I'm not going to say I'm the best business owner in the world or anything, obviously, but I knew a lot less back in the 2015, 2016, 2017 when I was 19, 20 years old, and we tried to scale too quick in 2017.
Too quick,
and almost went bankrupt. Had less than $1,000 in the bank, and almost had to shut things down. We were fortunate enough, I kind of just got out there and started pushing corporate accounts, essentially just charging as little as we could to get the clients, and just whatever it took just to keep the lights on type of thing.
Okay.
And we were able to turn the ship around. But that was an example of scaling before we were ready and not having a plan as we scaled, not having a schedule out. Okay, we're going to get to this many employees. We're going to aim for this much revenue by this date, and we're going to reassess how things are working.
We are here going to do Blitz. 10 seconds. 10-second answers.
I'm ready for it. What do you got?
Do you have a life mantra? What is it?
Life mantra since sophomore year has been to establish the education, reputation, and capital to make large-scale change in low-income communities.
Wow.
That's my go-to.
That's beautiful. That's the best answer I've heard in Blitz ever. And that's a great one. What is the one quality in a client that is an instant deal breaker for you?
Micromanagement, for sure. Yeah, can't be over our shoulder the whole time while we're there for hours.
Okay, if you could sell your product service to one celebrity, who would it be?
Russell Wilson, because we've already done a lot of his team as far as his his management team. So Russell, if you hear this, hit us up. Give us a call. We're ready.
That's awesome. If you could go back in time and tell your younger self, don't do this, what would it be?
I would say don't get too distracted by it. I started a bunch of other companies throughout college, and I wish I would have focused on this one the whole time.
Focus on one thing. Okay, love it. What is the one bygone fashion that you'd love to just bring back to today?
Man, see, I'm not a big fashion person, but these tight jeans got to go. So if we could go back to something a little looser, I want to let it breathe a little bit. This is too much. It's too much.
There you have it.
As far as a dressing goes,
yeah, what would be the other product you want to?
Dressing is, this is, a Cartwright product. This is probably our best-selling dressing.
When you say dressing, I think of salad dressing. Okay.
So this actually has the highest content of silicone of anything else on the market.
That's what makes it shine?
That's what makes it shine, and that's what makes it last.
Can you get this stuff like in Walmart or small O'Reilly stores?
Not.
You can, okay.
No,
so
everything that we sell is professional level. It's only sold through distributors on a wholesale level.
Okay. You'll hook us up?
Yeah, I'll see what I can do. No, but I will say these two products, these are the ones I started with them and I never switched.
Okay.
That's the best soap, and
proven themselves.
That tire dressing. I've tried other tire dressings, but that tire dressing is good.
So,
it's real good.
Probably our number one wax as far as a paste wax is Easy Off Yellow. It's a easy on, easy off, just like the label says. Literally spread it on, let it haze, wipe it off. A lot of waxes are extremely difficult to get off the vehicle. This is phenomenal and it's quick.
You see it? Interesting. So it's how long would this last, do you think?
So that would last, I mean, it depends on the detailer. I would say some of the newer guys, they might put on a little too much. As you get more used to it, you realize you don't need that much. So sometimes we'll get a little frustrated if it only lasts, 30 cars or something like that. But I think it should last 50 to 75, maybe 100 cars. Correct me if I'm wrong. I mean,
50 to 75 cars is probably real close.
Yeah.
What would this retail for, or what are you wholesaling it for?
I would, without looking it up, rough guesstimates, probably about $16?
Yeah, I would say like $20 or
That's
something.
cheap.
15 to $20 for a can.
So then wax 50 cars?
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah,
Pretty solid.
Exactly.
How do we stand out from other 10 vendors that are competing for your business and clientele?
Yeah. I think it's hard to say on the customer service end.
Okay.
I think, we have multiple touch points for our customers.
Okay.
We like to just
good.
really make sure that they're always, staying in contact with us and that sort of thing. We always try to get back to them if they're trying to get a request through, whether through email, phone,
Communication.
social, just have good communication with them as far as the customer experience. And if there has to be a reschedule, let them know and call them and explain. And we're just very honest. I like to tell our whole team, we're just people. We're just people. We don't have any patented technology. We don't have any crazy software. We're just people who do what we do and do it well and try to always do the right thing for the other people involved with us, whether it's our suppliers, customers, other team members. And so I guess that trickles into the customer experience.
It's a good way to do business. Now, remember I told you earlier in the video that Isaiah does something very special in terms of how he runs his business. His business is in Seattle. You live in Los Angeles.
Yep.
So tell us about how you structured to make the business work.
I grew up here. I started in high school. I went off to college over at University of Washington. Go Huskies, go Dogs.
There you go.
But yeah, I went down to UW and I had to learn how to study while also having this business run. The biggest thing was going back to people, having people that you trust in those managerial positions. Second biggest thing is the software. Having good software that people can communicate through, whether it's something like Slack where people can have their communications all in one place, or a good CRM software to manage your customer database and also your appointments and stuff like that. The first 6 years of this company, really up until this last year, we have not focused on growth. Like I said, I was working at other jobs. I didn't have to worry about profit. I was more focused on make sure the company is sustainable so I'm not losing money, but focus on building the right processes that can sustain growth. Mm-hmm. So that's, documenting how do we hire? How do we, how do we go from recruiting pipeline through interviewing, through onboarding and hiring and training, all the way through to offboarding and, letting people go. What does that whole HR process look like? What documents do we need? Have that all written out. Same with every aspect. Your marketing, how do you bring customers through their pipeline? How are you going, from your suppliers? How do we build this relationship? Well, we have to track our inventory and have certain thresholds where we need to make reorders, and this is how you do the reorders.
Right.
This is who you email and how that structure should be. All these different things you need to write out and test and tweak over the years so that as you get bigger, it doesn't become, completely jumbled up and people are confused and now you have 10, 15 different employees, but you don't have any processes for them to follow.
Okay.
That's been the biggest thing. And if those are written out, then you can be in LA, you can be in New York, you can be wherever, and those processes can be followed by people you trust and supported by software that's reliable.
Isaiah, this has been great. And that was the last question for you and to the audience. And besides the book, any other tips, advice to those looking to get into mobile auto detailing businesses?
Yeah.
What else can you say? Just a couple words.
Yeah. To mobile auto detailing, to any business, I would say just be hungry, be persistent. Don't give up when it's not profitable, or don't give up when it's not easy, because eventually if you know what you're doing and you keep working hard and you get the right people behind you, it'll click one day and things will start to take off.
Awesome. You guys can do it. Thank you for watching. Isaiah, thank you for being with us.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Well, that's a wrap of Big's mobile detailing episode. What an incredible, fun story. I hope you guys take all the business advice, execute on it. Like, subscribe, and hit that bell button so that you don't miss any of our videos. And make sure you go check out our other detailing videos as well. Thank you for watching.